And now, coming to you from a studio that's totally not in his basement, it's That's the Thing with Mathew Rose.
Hello world, and welcome to episode 2 of That's the Thing with Mathew Rose. I am Mathew Rose. Now, before I get started, I received a gift from a close personal friend of mine for the show. Now, as time goes on, I'm sure that there's going to be many other things that are on this desk, but for now, I would like to say thank you to my friend Kevin. It's the best I've ever looked, despite my lack of eyes. Here's what's happening in the world. A big congratulations to Super Bowl 50 winners, the Denver Broncos. Coldplay performed the halftime show with a little bit of help from Bruno Mars and Beyonce. Beyonce almost took a tumble, but it was nothing close to this guy.
Hey, John Elway.
Watch me whip, kill it. Now watch me nae nae. Okay. Now watch me whip.
Now, many people just watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. One specifically caught my attention. Taco Bell is unveiling its new quesalupa. It's a traditional chalupa, but wrapped in an overstuffed cheese shell. Now, many people don't realize the philosophical consequences of this south-of-the-border beauty. This is right up there with the big philosophical questions of our age, like if a tree falls in a forest and nobody's around to hear it, does it still make a sound? Or how do you handcuff a one-armed man?
You just can't, Nemo!
Yes, we all need to ask ourselves, if you stuff something from Taco Bell with enough cheese, will you still get the runs?
Somebody's in here.
In shocking news, it was just declared that hoverboards are unsafe. In fact, they aren't being allowed into the US now unless they comply with much stricter safety standards. Hoverboards became a huge craze in the United States, which made manufacturers pop up all over the world that could mass produce this technology at a much cheaper price. A 12-year-old was recently asked how he felt about the new policy, and he said, I'm not too worried about it. I can just go back to making iPads instead. Last week it was reported that since the legalization of marijuana in states like Washington and Colorado, the industry has made over $5.7 billion in legal weed sales. Now, they can't remember where they put the money, but I have a hunch that it has something to do with the $5.7 billion in quesalupa sales.
Smoke weed every day.
Now, this is interesting. Researchers in Japan are claiming that people who regularly eat hot sauce live up to 10 years longer than people who do not. What they fail to mention is that the extra 10 years are spent in the bathroom.
Somebody's still in here.
Now, it was a big week of discoveries. Scientists have reported that they have discovered a new species of black tarantula and have named it after the man in black himself, Johnny Cash. They are calling it the Aphonopelma Johnny Cashi. That's his real name. In a freak coincidence, a new breed of bird was found. It has a bright orange body, a large feather on the top of its head, and a very angry demeanor. They are calling it the Picacus Donnie Trumpus. Now, Donald Trump was booed at last week's GOP debates for telling Jeb Bush to pipe down. Now, Donald, it's just bad form to shush a man who has to beg for applause.
I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
The son of a president. The brother of a president. Now Jeb wants to be your president too. But Jeb doesn't just need your vote. He needs your applause. Won't you give this sad turtle a home? In your heart? For 2 claps a day, that's just 14 claps a week, you can put a smile on this man's face, who has no chance of becoming president.
No. Now, guys, I will never again condone politics. In future episodes, we'll talk about why, so just bear with me. But in a field where there's so much deception, to not just play to the voter, but to actually play the voter, I think it's important to look at things beneath the surface. Hillary Clinton, who I view very much as an establishment candidate, is starting to feel the burn. One poll will say that she's up in the Democratic nomination, and another will say that she's down. It's really difficult to say when candidates can hire groups to take the polls, or the poll takers find it in their best interest to slant questions in favor of a specific candidate. I specifically point to polls put up by CBS and ABC that put Hillary in the lead. Both presidents of the major media companies have siblings that work for the National Security Council that have ties to the Benghazi incident and the massive email cover-ups by Hillary Clinton. Now, maybe there's something there, maybe there isn't, but when you haven't gotten past the areas of preserving the false self at the expense of truth, deception will prevail. Now, in this show, I really mean no harm to any of the individuals that I poke fun at. The format is really there just to keep you interested long enough so that you might listen to the last segment and it could gently nudge you towards the ultimate truth. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a heart-to-heart.
Heart-to-heart.
Guys, politics is intentionally confusing because confused people are afraid people. Afraid people are controllable people. All ideas, good and bad, need to run their natural course and should not be forced. Force creates strain, and strain creates bondage. See, freedom is your ever-calling natural state. It is not and was never supposed to be granted, or for that matter, guaranteed by any government. It doesn't exist out there. Freedom exists in here. It doesn't exist because of the countless wars that have been fought. It doesn't exist because of the ego-centered people that want to try and force their way throughout the globe. Freedom is the natural human condition. And to inflict anything else, even while claiming good intentions, is inhuman. Freedom is naturally yours, because underneath of all your stress, all of your baggage, you find the real you, which is pure life, which is pure consciousness. And that's the thing!
Thank you for watching That's the Thing with Matthew Rose. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for future awesome videos.